Hello student, I am Reena. Welcome to Math Fam. This is coordinate geometry. So what is the Cartesian plane meaning here? If you know that the plane is nothing but two perpendicular lines, x-axis and y-axis, wherever they intersect, that point is called origin and we represent it by 0, 0. If you'll see here, this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis, wherever they meet, it's called origin, right? That you already know. Now here, whenever we take any point here, if I am taking one point here, this point will have one position on this Cartesian plane that's called coordinate, that is represented by coordinate. So if I take this point, we always write down first x coordinate and then y coordinate, that's called as ordered pair. And what is the x coordinate? If you will see, it is the distance from y axis, right? So if I'm taking a point here and this is the x coordinate, this is for distance from y axis which is parallel to this, right? So distance from y-axis is your x coordinate. Similarly, your y coordinate is going to be distance from x-axis. Take a Cartesian plane. There are always four quadrants. This is quadrant 1. We start from here. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3 and here quadrant 4, right? Now if you see that your x is positive, x coordinate positive, y coordinates positive, so all the coordinates in order pair will be positive, positive. Here it's negative, positive. The both x coordinates are negative, y coordinates are negative, and here x coordinate is positive, y coordinates are negative, because here x is positive, y is negative, right? Now which kind of question you will see based on this basic here? Now look at your first MCQ question. The coordinates of a point A on y-axis at a distance of 4 units from x-axis below it are. So if they are saying it is on y-axis, means you know that every point on y-axis x coordinate will be 0. Now from origin 4 places 2 down, that means this is going to be the point on y-axis which will be represented by 0 comma minus 4. Option number D is the right option. Now what is given in this one here? The distance of point P 3 comma 4, the distance from x-axis, distance from x-axis is always your y coordinate. It's going to be 4 units, option B. So these are the basic type of question. After that, what have you learned in this chapter? You have learned the distance formula. So here the distance formula, you know that distance between any 2 points when you take it here. If I am taking one point A, one point B, right? What is the distance between this on the coordinate plane? We use this formula x2 minus x1 a whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square under root that whole value. Or you can change the order, square root of x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square. How do we use this formula? If you see, this is one of the example. How to find out the distance between any 2 points? You will take its coordinates. Now here I can take here, if I take this as x1 y1 and this as x2 y2, you know that x2 minus x1, so it will be minus 2 minus 3 whole square plus minus 3 minus 2 whole square. I can take 3 plus 2 whole square plus 2 plus 3 whole square also, because I can use this formula. It's a whole square, so changing order does not impact the final answer. Minus 5 whole square minus 5 whole square. If you simplify, you get root 50, and root 50 you will write down as 5 to root 2 units. These kind of question will be 2-marker question. Now what is the other type of question you will see here? Find a relationship between x and y such that xy, so if I take this as point P, is equidistant from point 7 comma 1 and 3 comma 5. Now the word equidistant means you are going to use distance formula. So here P is at an equal distance from A and B, right? So how are we going to take it here? I can write down here PA is equals to PB because they are equidistant. Why am I taking here whole square? Because distance formula will always have square root. To remove the square root, you can do squaring both sides so that you will get rid of the square root, right? And when you will simplify this, all this x square y square will get cancelled, and you will see that because there are two variables here, you will get the relationship between x and y. So what is the application of distance formula means? What are the places where you use distance formula? So first thing, you check which type of triangle, then which type of quadrilateral it is, and the third place you use this is nothing but to check whether the points are collinear or not. So how to check? First, Which type of triangle? So always when triangle is there means you will get three sets of coordinates here. You will find out the length of all the three sides, right? So if there are three coordinates A, B, C, you can find out length of AB, length of BC, length of AC, and if any two sides are equal, then it will be isosceles triangle. If there are three, all the three sides are equal, it will be equilateral triangle. If none of the sides are equal, then it will be scalene triangle. Now, how to check the given coordinates are? It is the coordinates of a quadrilateral. You again, because it's a quadrilateral, means four coordinates will be given here: A, B, C, D. Now you will find out all the four side lengths, and other than that, you will find out two diagonals also. So here, if you will see A, B, C, D, if it is a quadrilateral, AB length, BC length, CD length, AD length, and the two diagonal length. For every quadrilateral question, you will find out these six lengths, right? Now you know that the properties of different specific types of quadrilateral. If it is a parallelogram, then the opposite sides are equal. So AD should be equals to BC, and then AB should be equals to CD, and the diagonals of a parallelogram are not equal. Now the same thing you will do it for all the quadrilateral. Now the next one again, if the quadrilateral will be a rectangle if the opposite sides are equal. So if AD is equals to BC, AB is equals to DC, and you know that the in the rectangle diagonals are also equal. So in the parallelogram the diagonals were not equal, but in rectangle the diagonals are equal, right? That's the difference. Then again, rhombus and square, if you will see again, you will find out the length of all the four sides. If length of all the four sides are equal, it can be a rhombus or a square. But for rhombus, the diagonals won't be equal. So AC will not be equals to BD. But in square, all the four sides are equal, but the diagonals are also of equal length, right? So if I will find out the length of diagonal also, which kind of question will see? You will see here. These are the examples. See, because you need to find out the type of quadrilateral, you will always get four coordinates, four sets of coordinates here, and you will always take these coordinates in order. Do not change the order. If it's given four coordinates, so it will be taken as A, B, C, D or P, Q, R, S, so that when you are taking here AB length, BC length, CD length, and AD length, and then you will find out AC and BD length, right? And using one of the condition above here, whichever case is true, based on that you will say that whether it's a parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus or square, right? All these examples are based on that. Now after that, where else do you use distance formula to check whether the points are collinear or not? Now when the points will be collinear? When all the points fall on a straight line. We will find out three length, all the possible length here, AB here, BC, AC and AB, all three lengths, and if sum of any two lengths is equals to the third length, then it will be collinear. Now here all these three cases are there, so you will check any two sum length should be equals to the third length, right? So then that means all the 3 points are collinear. So these are the part of distance formula, right? Other than that, here how will you get the question? Here you need to check if they are collinear. So if this is ABC, you will find out AB length using distance formula, BC length and AC length. Now sum of any two, if it is equals to the third length, then it will be collinear point, right? Now after that, you need to remember here, if you are finding the distance of any point from the origin, now origin place is fixed, which is 0 comma 0, right? So always your here x1 coordinate will become 0, and this formula direct you can use it. So it's a square root of coordinates of x and y coordinate of that point. You can get the distance from the origin. Now, other than this, you should always remember any point on x-axis will always in the form of x comma 0. Then any point on y-axis is always in the form of 0 comma y, right? Now, after that, what is the second topic in this chapter here? Section formula. In section formula means when a line is divided by a point. I'm having here a line segment here. It's given here AB, right? And here the point is somewhere here P, which is dividing into ratio m1 is to m2. How do we find out the coordinates, right? So what do you take here? If this is x1, y1 and this is x2, y2, how do we get it here? If you'll see, I can take here m1 x2 plus m2 x1 by m1 plus m2, then m1 y2 plus m2 y1 by m1 plus m2. How do we take it here now? Either the ratio is given and you need to find out the coordinates of point P, or if you need to find out the ratio, you will always take here as case to 1. Why do we take case to 1? Because here there are two variables, and when you are taking here case to 1, there will be only one variable, and k is nothing but m1 by m2. So if my k value is 5 by 7, the ratio will be 5 is to 7, right? From the section formula, we can derive midpoint formula also. So because midpoint means your ratio is going to be 1 is to 1. So m1, m2, everything will become 1. So x1 plus x2 by 2, and here y1 plus y2 by 2. Now here you can see that the ratio m1 and m2 it's given here, and the coordinates are given. So using section formula you can solve this question. Now here find out the ratio means you will take k is to 1, right? So your m1 will be k and m2 will be 1, and again using section formula you can find out the ratio here. Then after that, where else do you see here section formula? If the coordinates of a point trisection of a line segment joining this, right? That means if there is a line segment which is divided into three equal parts, how will we use it here? 1, 2, 3. So if I'm writing here PQ, you should know that here P will be the midpoint of AQ. So this part will be equals to PQ. AP will be equals to here PQ. So you can use to find out the coordinates, you can use here midpoint formula, right? But if I don't have Q's coordinate, how we are going to take the ratio here? If I'm taking ratio to use the section formula, AP is to PB will be 1 is to 2. Why? Because it's an equal part. So this part is 1 and this whole part is 2. Or Q will be the midpoint here of this part, right? Q will be the midpoint of PB. Or if I am finding here AQ is to QB, it is going to be 2 is to 1. So in section formula, you can solve the question. Here you can use the midpoint formula because it says midpoint, and this to calculate the value of P, I can take here how to get the coordinates of P here. 5, this is 6. 6 minus 2 by 2, comma, minus 5 plus 11 by 2. If you take it, that will be equals to 2, comma, P. So your coordinates of P, you can get it from here. The value of P, you can get it here. After this, centroid. What is the meaning of centroid? Centroid is nothing but the intersection of three medians. What is the median means? Median means a line segment dividing the opposite side into two equal parts. Now B is a median dividing AC into two equal parts. Similarly here CF is a median dividing AB into two equal parts. So their intersection, this is called here centroid. And if I'm having here coordinates of the vertices A, B, C, here G, using this formula x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3, comma y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3. This is your centroid formula. And how, where do we use to centroid formula? If three coordinates are given here, if they want you to find out the coordinates of G, which is centroid, you can take here 0 plus 8 plus 8 by 3, comma here 6 plus 12 plus 0 by 3. If I take it here, what will be the coordinate? 16 by 3, comma here 18 by 3, which is nothing but 6. So hope you got this. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Also, keep practicing.